Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Sir Slick playing old school RuneScape. Lately I've been doing a fair bit of Zulrah, trying to rebuild my bank after purchasing a T-bow, and it's going pretty well. I've managed to earn enough to buy a somewhat respectable melee equipment, and soon I'll start putting together some magic equipment as well. Zulrah has been very nice to me. As you can see here, this is just one of the loot tabs. I've already sold a few. And I've also started to do some Konar Slayer to change things up a bit. And that has led me to learning Alchemical Hydra. To my shame, I've managed to get to 99 Slayer without ever killing the Hydra boss, and the reason is simple: I was being a little bitch. I thought that Alchemical Hydra was this very difficult high-level Slayer boss, and that I wouldn't be able to kill it consistently because I'm not very good at PvM, which is still true, even though I've been learning lately. The joke is on me because this boss is not that difficult. True, I'm killing it with a T-bow now, but I've had the Dragon Hunter crossbow for ages, using it for Warcath and Brutal Black Dragons and some Slayer tasks. And that crossbow is almost as good as T-bow, at least where applicable. But anyway, Zulrah has been my primary moneymaker for a few weeks now. I'm at KC 1700, making good GP, hoping for a pet. I've grown pretty fond of this boss. Running from the fair rings to the boss all the time reminds me that there is actually another way to get the Zulrah scales, and that is by catching and dissecting the sacred eels. Zulrah scales actually make a good portion of the profits when killing the boss, and their price has been on the rise lately. I'm not sure whether this is due to the raids 3 or maybe Jagex implemented some new anti-botting measures and the bots no longer farm the boss, but it's made me wonder how good that makes catching the sacred eels. I myself haven't spent too much time here on my way to 99 fishing because the price of the scales had been around 100 GP at a time. Now when the price oscillates between 2 and 300 GP per scale, things may be a bit different, so let's take a look at it. The requirements are level 87 fishing to catch sacred eels and level 72 cooking to dissect them. The fishing level is a bit higher, but still not too difficult to achieve. The higher fishing and cooking levels, the better. With higher fishing you catch the eels faster, and higher cooking level gets you a little more scales per eel. You also need to do the Regicide quest to get here, and then speak to High Priestess Zulhar Sinka to be able to catch the sacred eels. She is this lovely gnome lady right here. In your inventory you're going to need a fishing rod, a bait, and a knife. That's it. Equipping your angler's outfit might give you a bit more XP per hour, but as you'll see, the base XP per hour here isn't very good, so the outfit will not really make that much of a difference. Normally you get 105 XP per eel caught and 100 cooking XP plus extra 3 XP per scale you get each time you dissect it. Radha's Blessing is going to give you a chance for a double loot. I only have Radha's Blessing 3, so that's what I'll be wearing. A Dragon Harpoon special attack can give you a little fishing boost, but as I'm level 99 fishing, for me it's just a fashionscape here. As is the pet, and I'll be flexing with my blue heron when I try to do this. You can use spirit flakes for increased profit. I will not be using any to not mess up the results. Getting to Zolandra is pretty simple. The fastest way is using the Zolandra teleport right here. That will teleport you right next to the fishing spots. As you can see, spots are over here. You can get a teleport as a drop from Zulrah or from GE for about 16,000 GP, I believe. Alternatively, you can use the fairy rings. I'll use the ones in my home. And the fairy ring code is BJS. It sounds a bit like blowjobs, but I'm certain it's just a coincidence. This requires an agility level of 76. I mean for jumping from the island to the mainland, not for blowjobs. You can also get a charter ship to Port Tiras up here and then run a bit to the south. And if you completely hate yourself, you can go through the underground pass and run all the way to the south. Just to illustrate, it's all this way, and this is a difficult part to track. The nice thing about this is that once you get here, you can stay for a very long time because both the fishing bait and the Zora scales stack. So there is no need for banking. The whole process is really simple. You run over here, you click the spot, and then just watch your inventory fill up with sacred eels. The spots move around a bit, so you'll need to pay a little bit of attention, but this is by no means a click-intensive activity. After you get a full inventory of eels, you can use a knife on them to dissect them, which is going to yield 3 to 9 scales per eel. The spot has moved, so I'll move with it. It's relatively AFK, not quite as AFK as Karambwans, but this is fishing, so nothing too difficult. Now, you can just click once and then wait for your inventory to slowly get done, or you can spam click to make things quite a bit faster. And that's basically it. That's the whole process of catching sacred eels. I will now try catching the sacred eels for an hour to see where it gets us. Okay, hello, I am back after 1 hour of catching sacred eels. In that 1 hour I've managed to catch 262 eels, and by dissecting them I managed to get 1923 scales, currently worth 438,000 GP. That's quite a bit more than the wiki stated. They claim that this yielded about 1400 scales an hour, so well, thanks to my stats, I suppose I managed to get almost 2000 scales per hour. The price of scales being what it is, actually it fell down a little bit during this last few days. This actually is a pretty good moneymaker. It's very AFK, very simple to do, so long as you have the stats required. I also got 28,000 fishing XP and 33,000 cooking XP. So that's always a nice bonus. This of course doesn't come anywhere close to the amount of scales you get from killing the Zora, but it's not that bad. Okay, so that's it for today. You have a nice evening.